Main man Lee Kendrick, founder of CreditUturn. Just going to chat with you here for just a moment before we actually kick everything off. I usually wait until some people are telling me that they can see me live. This is our very first episode to our dealer partners. I've been focusing on doing our live streams with our mobile app users primarily, but I do see that there's a need for future education and to be able to cover a lot of topics. Subprime related, credit related, automotive, real estate, mortgage, you name it, that we'll cover in future episodes of our partner live streams. So if you can see me, it would really be appreciated if you drop a link and just let me know that you're connected and that I can see you, or that you can see me and hear me okay, because usually there's a little bit of lag whenever we're first getting started. And thank you. Somebody just commented that they can see me, so that's very helpful. So whenever we're first getting started, there can be a little bit of lag time. And in the past, I've cut out, I've edited the front and the back end of our episodes and just cut this little part out. So again, just kind of riffing a little bit. So in our today's series and future series, we're just going to be kind of raw and uncut. We're going to cover nitty-gritty stuff. We're going to cover theory. Hopefully you'll engage with me. We can have some active discussions and much more. So my why is, if you haven't met me already, my name is Lee Kendrick. I'm the founder of CreditUturn, and I have spent nearly 30 years, or maybe a little over 30 years, in credit-based enterprises, both in retail and non-retail. Most of it in retail, in automotive or the mortgage industry. So I'm letting you know that because there are a lot of people in the automotive business that can be really, really tough, that are constantly talking about that there are a bunch of car clowns. There are vendors out there that don't understand anything about the automotive business, and I get that. I totally understand it. So I want you to know that what we've built is built by a car guy. It's built by a finance guy. It's built by a credit guy, and also with a strong mortgage background and lending background that totally gets all of your scenes, and I'm not a car clown. So I think that's important to get that out of the way. And my why with this is, throughout the years, I have always taken pride in going the extra mile for those unique situations, those unique customers. You all know who I'm talking about, because especially if you're in the automotive business, you sell hundreds of cars per month at every location. Hopefully that's the case for the dealership that you're working at, if you're sitting in a car dealership right now. And you know what I'm talking about. You sell all these cars, but there's always those few people, the handful of people that are super grateful, super thankful. They give you the best survey scores. They're very appreciative of you. And you look at your credit, and if you don't know how to help them, then you can't help them. You might give them a couple tips, or you might know somebody that you send them to, and that somebody's going to charge them some credit repair fees. They're going to charge them monthly fees, or they're going to charge them a fee to get items deleted from their credit report. Or you're going to try to undertake that process and do something for them. You might give them a couple tips and say, you can write some letters, or I'll write a letter for you. I was that guy. I would do that. I would try to do it for 5 to 10 people a month. But you can't do that every month and month again and month again, because as you do that, then it spirals out of control. It mushrooms, okay? So you've got those first 5 to 10 people, and then the next month there's an additional 5 to 10, and the following month another 5 to 10, and just one customer to help them the right way. You're going to usually invest manually at least a few hours per month on trying to assist that client. And if you're trying to do it on a bigger scale, and you've got other customers, and you've subscribed to some credit software, there's credit software out there, you're still going to have to invest your time and energy in education, educating yourself, educating them, setting things up, still analyzing credit reports. You're going to have to know what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what type of letters. You're going to have to set a calendar. You're going to have to remind yourself to do it. And by the time you expend all that energy, you might as well start charging them, okay? And I apologize, I have talked all day. I've been on the phone several hours today, and I just got through doing a live stream, so please overlook me if I stumble over some words. So basically, at that point, you might as well just go ahead and become a licensed credit repair company, but you have a lot of legal hurdles and a lot of legal challenges to deal with and a lot of laws that you've got to keep up with to stay in compliance, to make sure that you're not doing things wrong. And it's a very, it's shark-infested waters. It's very murky. There are a lot of three-letter agencies that look at you and inspect everything that you're doing, especially once you start to advertise. So you need to be aware of that. So my why was to do away with all that, not just for myself, but also for you, in a way so that you can just automate the process. So you could just recommend a tool that's not going to charge them any credit repair fees. Okay, that's awesome. Not to charge them any credit repair fees, and instantly alerts you, the provider, the partner, instantly alerts you when that client, that prospect, that lead has had a credit improvement, so that you can partner back up, you can reach back out to them. They're also going to receive a notification that says that they need to get back in touch with you, the expert that recommended this awesome tool to them. And if you're a partner of ours, okay, speaking to the general managers, the owners, the managing partners, the people that are holding the purse strings with our partners, you have an opportunity to have this white labeled for you. Not the app itself, but you got a white label page that says that you're the expert, you've got a solution, you've got something that you've done for them, so they don't have to pay any credit repair fees. And that's magic for you, okay? Because we're going to talk about today's topic. I'm going to kind of segue into this, but today's topic is the law of attraction and the law of retention, and what that has to do with your leads, prospects, and customers. I think the actual title of this segment is the law of retention and your leads, but it's actually the law of attraction and the law of retention, and how that applies to your leads, your prospects, and your customers. Some really valuable content here, so please stay in the saddle with me on this, because I'm going to open up your eyes if you're not using this already. And if you do have access to this, I'm going to open up your eyes to why you might not be using it the right way or enough. Okay, so my why is to be able to touch millions of people's lives, and to help you grow your business, and to position you as an expert, so that you're not having to send people out to a third party and never hearing back from that customer again, either because they had a rotten experience, they had a bad experience somewhere, or that third party service told them don't apply for any credit, let's get your credit fixed, and you might not hear from them for a year or more, or by the time they do get their credit fixed, they just got the good news that their credit's fixed, and now they turned into shoppers. And if they turned into shoppers, that loyalty to you probably went out the window, especially if you didn't position yourself as the expert and that you had a solution, okay? And I want to know more about what your why is. Everybody's why is differently on a personal level and also on a business level, okay? Our best partners, their why is they want to provide massive value and goodwill back out throughout their community. And whenever they do that, they win. And we're gonna talk about that just a little bit more here in a moment. If you can't tell, I lit up whenever I said that, because they win. They get it. If they're focusing on the massive amount of goodwill that they can spread throughout their marketplace and their community, they win, instead of focusing on the car deal or the home loan or whatever that is. They're focusing on spreading out the massive amount of goodwill and value, like I am with you and to consumers, by providing them massive amounts of goodwill and value through my live streams, through our content, through our automation. There's so much that I'm doing and so much that I'm encouraging you to do too. We hear from people like Gary Vee all the time say that kindness is currency. Well, I've always said that caring is currency. I've said that for 20 plus years, and I'm a firm believer in that. I think that as long as you can genuinely demonstrate and prove through actions that you care, and through us, you have that mechanism to do that. You have the ability now through our mechanism to be able to say, we've got your solution. Come see us. So there's your attractant. And then the come see us turns into the pipeline builder. So now your prospects are growing. Okay, so we're attracting leads, attracting prospects. You're growing a pipeline. We have some viral mechanisms built into our mobile app and our system that I can go over at a later date, later time with you, another live stream. But we have some viral mechanisms in place to help you continue growing that pipeline. And we also provide you some mechanisms where you can put out a regular, consistent message in front of them. Your message means more to your leads and your prospects and your customers, and demonstrating through action and tangible proof that you care than a service drive coupon would ever result in. I don't care if you gave them 100 service drive coupons, discounted oil changes, free tire rotations. That doesn't mean anything to them anymore. Every car dealer already does that. You became a commodity. You commoditized yourself whenever you do the same thing that everybody else is doing. Be different, be kind, be caring, demonstrate it, prove it, be the expert. Don't send somebody somewhere else for the solution. You don't send them to Enterprise to go get a rental car. You provide that. I'm hoping you do if you're a car dealer. If you're the mortgage provider, don't send them to say, hey, go fix your credit. You need to go to Credit Karma, or go talk to Lexington Law, or go write some letters. Be the expert. You don't have to do it all yourself. That's very time consuming. And if you did it all yourself and went through all the time consumption, then you might have some legal messes, especially like if you're a mortgage broker dealing with RESPA, Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, or just dealing with individual state laws. Let's say you're a tri-state dealer. Now all of a sudden you've got to deal with maybe 3 different states' laws from consumers that are directly around you. And then what happens whenever one of them has a buddy that lives in a state that's 2 states away that they want to send to you? Now you might potentially have some issues. But through our service, we're not a credit repair company. The beautiful thing about this is you're not a credit repair company. We built this as a tool for you to attract, build a pipeline, and retain not just customers, but to retain leads, prospects, and customers, and grow that pipeline, and help you go viral by with a white label solution, and you not having to be a credit repair company, not having to worry about any laws. You're not charging any fees for this. If you do, I don't want you as a partner, okay? You can't be a partner of ours if you're trying to charge somebody to utilize the software, okay? Pure and simple. You can't promise specific results. As long as you're not doing those 2 things, we're a perfect match. And I would also say that you actually truly care. As long as you're actually putting out that you want to spread massive amounts of goodwill throughout your marketplace, you're winning. So kind of getting down there about today's topic, the law of attraction, and about the law of retention. And before I jump in there's another thing. Sorry about that. So we do have some awesome partners, and obviously because we have partners and there's just a small subscription fee, your leads, your prospects, and your customers don't have to pay any credit repair fees. And that's a very powerful thing. Combined forces right here, we're able to disrupt an entire industry and say that we're sick and tired of people paying for credit repair, and the tool isn't just doing everything. Yes, it is automated, and yes, it can do everything, but the customer can ultimately control some aspects of it too. So like if a customer wants to edit a letter, they want to deny a letter or recreate a letter, they can do those things. We counsel them and we coach them through the app, through some automation about if they start to take an action that might be a negative action, that we question them and say, are you really sure that you want to do this? So kind of keep in mind that everything is a win-win-win here for everybody, and we are partnered already with some phenomenal game changers, difference makers, and we recognize that every industry, anybody that's watching this, all of our partners have made a tangible investment of some sort. I don't care if it's a small investment that you open up a mortgage company that's kind of low overhead, you just had to rent some office space, you got some office supplies, you might have a loan processor, and you've got, a bigger profit margin than, say, an automotive dealer that might be working on a really slim profit margin. He's got a lot of moving parts and pieces. Auto dealers tend to make huge investments, anywhere from a couple million to 20 million or more on per location. So By the way, on that note, auto dealers aren't always bad. They're not bad. They're good people. They're actually the fabric of most communities. They're very philanthropic. So if you are an auto dealer or you work in an auto dealership, fantastic thing that you're a part of. Fantastic thing that you're doing. You just next level that together, and let's partner up and change your community. Let's change the trajectory of your dealership that's hopefully already trending up. If it's not trending up, you have nothing to lose. You need to reach out to me because there's a lot of merit to what I'm talking about. There is about 2/3 of your population in most communities has some sort of credit issue. So you actually have an audience right now that will be leaning on your every word, that will go, okay, so there's a dealer that actually cares and they have a solution. I don't have to pay credit repair fees. There's no catch. They're just asking me to be loyal. They're spreading goodwill throughout the marketplace for less than what it cost you for a receptionist, maybe even just part of a receptionist. So kind of keep in mind that those are our perfect partners. And most of my partners are also concerned about their legacies. They're wanting to create a legacy that they're known and recognized for later on in life. And I really truthfully believe in my heart of hearts that if you aren't demonstrating and proving that you care to your entire marketplace and your community, that you're not really leaving the legacy that you think that you'll be leaving. Okay? Not going to say a name, but there's a recent politician that spent hundreds of millions of dollars, and he has a legacy, but it might not be the legacy that he really truly desires, just because his message that he left kind of fell on some deaf ears. A lot of people didn't like it and ended up pulling out of a race. And I think that had he connected with that audience better and really was able to demonstrate that he genuinely got their issues that they dealt with, makes a big difference. And I'm just drawing a correlation. This is not political, just drawing a correlation that I hope that if you're a prospective dealer partner or you are currently using it, that the aha moment comes on, or that little light bulb comes on. Sorry about that. The aha moment hits you and you go, yep, we're not doing enough with this, or we're not doing that at all, and we need to be doing it. So basically, a lot of it is just strong community involvement. So today's topic, law of attraction, and what about the law of retention? What does it take? It doesn't take a lot, and it does take a lot. Okay? What I mean by that is you just have to start moving forward. And you have to own it. You have to change your mission statement. You have to add it into your mission statement. You need to make sure that your team, that your staff, that your company, that your vendors, everybody around you knows that you haven't done what you need to be doing and that you're next leveling this, or that you have been doing it and you just didn't have access to something like what I'm offering. And I'm not saying that I'm the only thing that you could be doing to retain more customers, but I do find it interesting that for the last at least 5 years, and it's probably a little bit longer for the ones that were really woke, the industry movers and shakers, at least in the automotive industry, is that whenever you sell a car, it's really it's an ugly fact that your chances of selling them another car are slim to none, just because customer retention tanked, and it tanked bad. And all the auto dealers are like, how do I retain my customers? How do I retain my customers? And you all have been searching for customer retention solutions forever. And about the only thing that keeps on coming up are, what I would say, new ways of sending out cards, or new ways of sending cookies and reminders, and the old methods that we used to rely on whenever I first got into the business, that, hey, you need to be different. And instead of sending a birthday card or an anniversary card, you need to send an Easter card, or you need to send a Thanksgiving card, or then it was the service drive coupons and stuff like that. It's a commodity thing, and you're not being really different, and it's not sincerity, and it's really not valuable to them. But whenever you're providing them with an automated solution that they don't have to pay credit repair fees, you might not know this because your credit might be perfect. But the person that's had a credit issue, it could just be one thing on their credit report that's nagging them. It could be due to job loss, it could be due to medical emergencies, it could be because of a divorce, it could be because of a lawsuit, their identity was stolen, any number of reasons. And you all know that you've got friends, family, coworkers, people that you go to church with, whatever it is, that occasionally come to you and say, hey, psst, I've got this credit problem. Can you help me get a car? Can you do that? And then next thing you know, the general manager, the owner's running back to the finance manager and they're saying, hey, I've got this buddy Johnny and he really needs your help. Can you help him? And so you have that in your life. So don't dismiss this. This is a real big problem. And those people that need that help, they're going to have to pay to get their credit repaired through some sort of third party attorney or credit repair company, and you don't know how they're going to be treated. You don't know if they're going to have a good experience. But on top of it, the value is they're going to naturally spend at least $100 a month to $150 per month. Plus, they're also going to have to subscribe to credit monitoring so that they have access to credit information so that the credit repair organization can work on their credit, because the credit repair organization cannot just order somebody's credit report every month. The only way that credit report can be accessed is if the consumer subscribes to a monitoring service and then gives them their login credentials so that they can log in and check it regularly. Okay? So what I'm getting at is the net effect, or the tangible value to your leads, your prospects, your customers is easily several hundred, if not $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 or more per person. Per person. That's the value that you have an opportunity to pass on to your leads and your prospects and your customers, your difference maker that decommoditizes you and your business. Okay, you're no longer like everybody else. You're actually providing something that blows somebody's mind that you're doing for them, and they're very thankful for that. And guess what? That's your best lead. That's your best prospect, your best customer, your most valuable client that you could ever have. And that's the one that's loyal and kind to you and never forgets it and does business with you over and over and over again. And I'm not telling you that's going to be 100%. It isn't going to be 100%, because there are things that you can do to destroy that trust. They might have had a bad experience during their car buying. They had a bad service experience later. Or they won the lottery and they decide they don't want a Chevy anymore and they want to go get a Porsche the next time. Just keep in mind, there's no perfect thing, but this is far greater than anything you've ever been exposed to or are using. Okay? So definitely keep that in mind. Another thing I want to make sure that you're aware of too is that all of our automotive dealer partners also have the means to be able to get leads from outside of direct recommendations, such as, let's say that you've got a lead or prospect or customer and his name is John Doe. Whenever John Doe is using that app, we're always asking them, we're always recommending to them to please recommend our app, to please recommend the app. And because they downloaded through your link, your unique identifying link, anybody that they recommend it to will end up back in your dashboard as your referral. Okay, just one level deep. We're not multi-level marketing, and we don't want John Doe to refer through 100 people and then those 100 to refer through 100 that you definitely don't know. But there's a good chance that the people that John Doe directly knows, are potentially familiar with you, or John Doe could at least tangibly make a recommendation to them. Yes, I completely implicitly trust XYZ Motors, or I completely implicitly trust XYZ mortgage company or bank or real estate company. And you need to keep in mind the power of that. That's phenomenal. The other thing that we do for you is that we also get a lot of organic mobile app downloads that weren't through a dealer partner. And we allow you to market each week in the app to the people that have downloaded through you, so you can just reinforce how much you appreciate them. You can reinforce things that you've got coming up. You've got lease specials coming up. You just got a Hellcat Dodge Challenger in. You just got this amazing Jeep in. You got whatever, the new Stingray came out, or you just got 22 of a certain type of car that's only got 5,000 miles on it. They're certified, and you've got a 70 or 100,000 mile certified warranty on them. whatever your messages are, you can market to them every week, but you can also market to all of our organic downloaders that are within a 250-mile radius of you and your business, even though they weren't referred by your dealership or your mortgage company or your company. So we're getting some great input here. I'm going to get to, I see Paul Nevitt's got something, either comment or question. I'm going to get to that. But just before I lose my train of thought, I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to think about what you're doing now and what you aren't doing now and what you could do differently, okay? And I hope, I'm really confident that we should be a part of that if we're not a part of it already. If we are a part of it, what are you doing now or what aren't you doing now? Because if you're not emailing, okay, to your current leads, your old leads, your old prospects, your old customers, and telling them that you've got this new phenomenal solution, credit solution, you're missing out, okay, because that's a big part of customer retention, and it decommoditizes you and completely changes the possibility that they go somewhere else. Because there's always, let's say that you've got 10,000 people in your database, there's a good chance that at least 1 to 3% of them are in the market for a vehicle right now, right? Because most people buy once every 3 to 5 years. And some people will say that it's changed, it's only once every 6 or 7 years. But I disagree with that, because most households usually have 2 to 3 vehicles in their household, so those are being cycled through. So there's a great likelihood that your message is going to resonate with some people that have had credit issues in the past. You just structure it the right way. Doesn't need to be wordy, but get that out there, but be consistent about it. If your BDC is not taking advantage of it, your business development center, if you're an auto dealer, you need to be doing that. If you're a smaller company like a mortgage company, real estate company, or a big bank, you need to be looking at those things. Banks have got a ton of products. Banks do a lot of different things that they provide for a cross-section of customers, and there's a large percentage of the U.S. population that is unbanked. There's also a large percentage of the U.S. population that doesn't utilize CDs, doesn't utilize investment mechanisms, might not know that you've got phenomenal finance programs that are going on right now. So you need to be tapping into that through lead retention, prospect retention. Don't just be thinking about what you can do for customer retention. Think about lead and prospect retention, because the higher that you start in that funnel, the more likely it is that that lead, the person that's looking for a vehicle, that will be in the market for a vehicle, shortens their research process, because they've identified that they connect with you on a level that you haven't seen yet, because they're like, okay, this dealer gets me. I've had some credit issues. They're providing me tangible value. I'm stopping my research right now, and I'm going to go work with them and see if they can help me obtain my why, which is me obtaining transportation, or getting that home loan, or fixing some banking issue, or finding a house, okay? So challenge yourself. I'm constantly challenging myself every day. I'm constantly looking at ways that we can improve our processes and the way that we can help you and potentially improving your processes too. So Paul is asking a personal question. This live stream is more dedicated to partners, but I'm going to take a moment and address his concern. So he says that, hey Lee, Capital One has reported 4 different sets of payment dates and card closing dates. Every time I dispute inaccurate info, is that in itself grounds for deletion? Okay, so I'm going to answer this in the best way possible, and that is that anything that is not 100% accurate, okay, so if they have inaccurate dates, if it's not also 100% complete the way it's being reported, and it is also 100% verifiable if any of that is missing. So you could have 100% accuracy, you could have 100% completeness. If it's unverifiable in any way, even 0.01%, then it's grounds for either them to fix it or delete it, okay? So I can't control that. I don't have the magic wand. We do have an awesome tool for you to use that automates that process, so you're not having to dream up all the possible ways that you can attack that, okay? We have all those attack strategies and the dispute letters and challenge letters in the system that are automated that go to work for you. But yes, if that is inaccurate, so it says every time I dispute inaccurate info, then yes, it is grounds for deletion or for them to fix it. Okay, so hope that answers that for you. And guys, gals, anybody that's out there that is watching this, that's a partner or potential partner of ours, we get those same types of questions from our customers all the time, from the people that are using the mobile app. We have a built-in credit forum for them within the app. All their tax strategies are automated for them. We provide social media channels that people can connect with us. We also provide identity theft protection that's in there, and much, much more. Credit score simulators. It's really, truly valuable what we're doing. We need more partners across the country to help us with this carrying as currency thing, and helping you spread more massive value and goodwill throughout your communities and your marketplace, so that we can connect with more mobile app users and people that have had credit challenges, like Paul, who's very concerned, and he's dealing with specific situations. And I feel for him, because credit reporting is a game. It's really sad. It's pathetic that it is, but oftentimes somebody like Paul, and I'm connecting with you, Paul, because I know that I've helped out tens of thousands of people through my lifetime that have had the same exact type of questions that you have. And it's really disheartening whenever you've got the same information there and it's harder for you to get it fixed, and then somebody else that maybe was responsible for doing something bad or several things bad gets their things deleted like that. Everybody's journey is a little bit different. I think it really depends on who receives your letter. Is it so the credit reporting agencies, they utilize a system called eOscar, and eOscar analyzes your letters and it determines whether or not it's something that it can automatically begin processing, submit some numerical codes that go out to your creditors that says that you're challenging something. And I really don't think that it takes a deep dive, cursory look at exactly what your specific situation is. And sometimes it produces really crazy responses and stall tactics. But that's the power of our automation, is that it's in set it and forget it mode for you, so that you're not having to deal with that all the time. Because I think that at the end of every day, that they're really just hoping that you give up and that you just deal with what you've got. There are definitely some things, Paul, that you can do to start building your credit. One of those things that I'm constantly telling all of our customers is you need to make sure that you're adding positive credit in your credit files. So if you don't have the right mix of credit, so you don't have 2 or 3 credit cards, you don't have an installment loan, you don't have a mortgage loan on there, that's like the perfect mix. As long as you've got some longevity and payment history with it, your scores skyrocket. Okay? Without any of those things, then it's a little bit more difficult for you to boost and overcome, radicalize, or catapult your credit scores. So let's say that you have some negative credit, you've got some inaccuracies from Capital One, and you get those things deleted. But if you're also not adding, or you don't currently have the right mix of credit, or you're not adding new credit into your credit files, your scores might still languish and not move in the direction that you want them to. So I'm always encouraging everybody to do that. So Paul, I don't know your specific situation, and I can't, because I cannot act as a credit repair company, but I can tell you, look at your credit files. If you don't have 2 to 3 active credit cards that you're keeping at balances that are less than 30% of your limit, okay, consistently, and I'm not talking about you charging them up 100% and then paying them back down below 30% every month. I'm talking about you more or less keeping them consistently at that level and below. You need to work on that, and there are some strategies that you can undertake. One of those is you can go to 5000creditcard.com. That's 5000creditcard.com, and that card is not a Visa or MasterCard, but you can go there and you can click, I think it's the subscribe now or join membership link. I think they charge you, I think what you've got to do is you've got to go purchase at least $100 worth of merchandise from them. And then once you do that, during the checkout process, you've got to pay at least 50% of whatever you charge. My thing is just buy the minimum amount, pay the minimum amount, and then once you do that, then you'll have the remaining balance will appear on your credit report along with your new credit limit of $5,000 across all three credit agencies within about 20 to 30 days, and that can start boosting your credit scores, and that can also help you lower your debt to income ratios. I know that you're not specifically asking me about this, but I just want to make sure that I'm sharing that, and so that our dealer partners and our prospective dealer partners can benefit from that. And there might even be a manager sitting at a sales desk right now, or a finance manager or some other employee at the dealership that's saying, you know what, I need to do that myself. So I definitely encourage you to look at that. If you already have credit cards or you already have decent credit, I would encourage you to ask your credit card vendors whether or not they will boost your credit limit without them doing a hard credit inquiry. And if they tell you that they must do a hard credit inquiry, that's your own personal preference as to whether or not you let them do that. Just know that if you have too many current or recent inquiries on your credit report, it can have a little bit of an adverse impact depending upon the depth or the thinness of your credit file. Or another tactic that you can take is if they say, we'll do a hard credit inquiry, you can say something to the effect of, well, I don't want you to do a hard credit inquiry right now, but I'm getting offers from other companies that I'm considering unless I can get my credit limit increased. They'll say whatever they say. You can disconnect on the phone call, but oftentimes I've found that as long as you have a decent payment history with them, that magically in a few days or a couple weeks, that oftentimes that you'll get a magical credit limit increase. Sometimes you don't know about that unless you're subscribing to credit monitoring, because if you're subscribing to the right type of credit monitoring system, such as ours, you get daily monitoring alerts if you have a significant change in your credit file. So let's say that you had a $500 credit limit with Capital One, and you had a decent payment history on a card, and you wanted them to increase your limit, and then they said they need to do a hard credit inquiry, and you went through that whole scenario, and a couple weeks later they lifted your credit limit to $2,000. You might not know about that unless you had daily monitoring that would notify you and say, hey, you've got a new credit limit increase. So kind of keep that in mind. So guys, I've been on here for a while. I try to keep my live streams typically to somewhere around 25 to 35 minutes. And wow, I just looked over and I'm running a little bit over that right now. So I appreciate the engagement. If you are not subscribed to our social media channels, please do that. We utilize Facebook and YouTube much more than Twitter and Instagram. We will be building those channels out in the future. We will also in the future be live streaming on multiple platforms. We've already attempted that once using a couple of restreaming services that weren't very dependable. So we went just to YouTube only for now until we switch over to a content delivery network on a private cloud server where we can self-manage that better for you. But that will be coming soon. If you have not downloaded the app and you are a prospective partner, you don't know what you're missing and you don't know what your customers are missing. And I'm telling you that you need to download it and you need to make a small investment and upgrade to our credit monitoring, and that's not a money grab. What I'm trying to describe to you is there's two different things that occur. Whenever you download that app, you can either be a free user where you're just getting daily credit tips and education, which is perfect for all of your customers, including anyone with an 800 credit score, and they just want to get a perfect credit score, or they already have great credit and they're wanting to get their kids acclimated to understanding credit. And you know how kids can be. They might not want to listen to their parents, but they'll listen to somebody else. So at least they can point them in another direction. But once you upgrade and you're utilizing the credit monitoring, then you get to unlock. You unlock and you get to see the power of the monitoring, the analysis, the letter generation, the letter submission, the good news notifications, the score simulator, the forum, the identity theft protection, the whole enchilada gets unlocked and released, and you get to see the what your leads and what your prospects and what your customers would utilize and what they would see. And I think at that point in time, that's whenever the real aha moment comes on, not just hearing me talk about it, you're actually seeing it in action. And in the near future, everybody out there that's watching this that also has LinkedIn channels, and if you're in the automotive industry, I think it's I'm not discounting the mobile app. There's a vendor out there, not going to name the mobile app, but there's a vendor out there that always says #1 dealership mobile app in the world, #1 dealership mobile app in the world. And I'm not saying that it's bad, because I've heard from other dealers talking about how great it is, but I'd like to think that they're #1 for what they do. I think that whenever you see this, there might be a real viable discussion as to whether or not they're actually the most valuable or not, but I'll leave that kind of up to you to decide. But I don't think that you can really do that until you dive into what we have to offer. But minimal investment, especially for those of you that have been spending $2 million, $20 million per location to build something to sell and service automobiles in your local community. So subscribe to us, like us, recommend us, engage with us in future live streams. I appreciate your time, and I love all of our dealer partners. I love all of our referral partners. What you're doing in your marketplaces is incredible. I've visited many locations, and you have phenomenal processes. I just would encourage you to really look at that you've been seeking, the fact that you've been seeking a customer retention solution, and now you're looking at a customer retention, prospect retention, and even further up at the top of the funnel, lead retention, as well as full-on attraction tool to attract more of that, plus retain more of it. So if you have any questions about anything in the future, you're more than welcome to engage with us here. You can also find some additional information about our digital solution that can help you 10x your results with CreditUturn at SubprimeNinjas.com. And you're also welcome to call us at the phone number that's on that page. So again, thank everybody for their participation tonight, and look forward to live streaming more relevant content to you in the future. And let me know what's on your mind. I don't want to just riff on things that are on my mind. I would really like to know what your why is and any way that I can help you. So tell me how I can help you. And if there's a way that I can, I will. If I can't do it, I'll find a person that can, and I'll live stream with them together and bring you some extra value. So thank you again, and you all have a great night and great weekend.